Hey y'all, I'm Rachel, owner and artist at Stella Boutique here in Greeneville, Tennessee. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button and mash that notifications bell so you won't miss any of my upcoming thrift flips, trash to treasures, how-to tutorials, and just everyday upcycling your old furniture into new home decor. Today I have a video. It is 3 quick throwdowns. I call a throwdown a table that sits on the side of your sofa or on the side of a chair that you sit in for your living room or your family room. Anyhow, so I have 3 quick throwdowns. They all took about an hour for each one when you put all the time together. I had one that was free. I got maybe a year ago or so. And then I've got 2 that were recent, one for $15 and one for $10. Anyhow, so come with me as I show you what I did with them. If you guys can also do me a quick favor, my chosen sister has debuted #1 on her album and the blues charts on multiple platforms. Her name is Angela Easley. If you could do me a favor and go give her a listen for me. She has an amazing voice and she is a beautiful person inside and out. I'll put her link down below in the description box. But come with me as you see what I did on these 3 quick throwdowns. Let's go! This is a piece that I have had in my hoard in the other room for quite some time. I did repair the top. It had damage to the veneer and a hole in it. So when I put that on, I then caulked around the edges with a paintable caulk so that it would have a smooth, seamless edge. I went to my go-to DIY Bead Board White to paint both the bottom shelf and the top shelf because I'm going to decoupage it. Then I got out my DIY Fancy Farmgirl because this is a color that matched part of the green in one of the decoupage papers that I'm going to use on the top. So all of the sides and edging and the table legs I did in Fancy Farmgirl. I decided to use my Roycycled decoupage paper for the top piece. It is in vintage wallpaper. I liked the floral that was in the center of the paper. So you see me here pushing along the edges so it leaves a crease. So then I'm able to take my scissors and make a cut all the way around the edging so that it will fit perfectly. You'll see when I decoupage, I do it just little bits at a time. I'm using my turquoise iris artisan brush. It's small, about 1 inch wide, and I put just a little bit of my DIY crystal clear liquid patina down. It's a transfer gel, top coat, and a decoupage medium all in one. And then I will use my saran wrap and I will push a little bit of it out so it's smooth and there's a contact down with no bubbles or wrinkles or creases in the paper. And I work my way in little sections all the way across the paper. I did use the big top to seal the top of the decoupage paper in, and then once it was dry, you see me here using my DIY clear wax. Then once that was on, I went back with the white wax to give it a softer look. Next piece we found on Marketplace. When we got it back and I was cleaning it, it's dripping with nicotine. So I used my DIY salvation solution to the rescue. Once I used that, then I decided I'm going to decoupage the top of this with this beautiful Cottage Birds from JRV Decoupage line. It is so stunning. I decided to put down 2 layers of my DIY crystal clear patina, and then I decided I'm going to iron this one on so it has a seamless look. I set the iron to medium heat, and you see here why I'm constantly moving it. I never let it sit in one spot because I don't want it to bubble. I did here have a small amount of bubbling on the edge, so I took a needle and I drew up some of my crystal clear liquid patina and I injected it into small little holes, and then you see me working my way out with a needle and then pushing the crystal clear liquid patina out so it had good contact. Then when it was all dry, you see me sanding here with a 220 grit so I could have a clean edge all the way around. Once I was done sanding it, it came up very easily and left no edges. After I was done, There was still so many pretty pieces still left on that decoupage paper. I didn't want to waste it, so I put it around the edges on all 4 sides of the table. And then when I was done, I went back and I sealed all the paper in with the DIY Big Top. I went in and painted the rest of this table with DIY's Crinoline, and my darker color here is DIY's Faded Burlap. See how easy this is to blend the 2 colors in? I put the DIY Faded Burlap in, and then I went down and brushed some of the Crinoline down into the Faded Burlap, and then I went back and brushed some of the Faded Burlap back up into the Crinoline for a seamless look. I had finished the table, but it just needed something else. So I decided to go over it with my clear wax and then my white wax. And that was just what it needed. I needed to soften it up. So I put the white wax on the top and on the bottom, and that did the trick. After I let the white wax sit on it for about 30 minutes, I buffed it with my Sweet Pickins Milk Paint buffing rags. This next piece my son and I found on Marketplace, and we headed to Jonesboro to get it. While we were going, we listened to my chosen sister's album, Rise, which is #1 on the blues chart on all platforms. I am so proud of you, Angela. So we picked up this piece here. It is a Thomasville piece, and the top had a little bit of damage to it, but not much, and I knew exactly what I wanted to do with it. I had a customer who did this with one of her tables, and we went to her home. She had some trouble with the decoupage, and I went to her house to help her out. So I asked her if I could do the same thing, if she would mind, and she said, go right ahead. So I got out my Grunge Meters paper, which is by Roycycled Treasures, and I cut out all of the meters. Once all the meters were cut out, it took me a few minutes to play with them on how I wanted, but you see how I used nails here to hold them all down? And then I took a picture of exactly where they were at so I wouldn't forget once I took them off of there. And then I started decoupaging them down. I did a little bit at a time, and then I rub it down with my saran wrap. And then I go back and I put a little bit more. But this piece here was giving me a little bit of trouble, and you'll see where I decoupage it down and then it didn't catch all the sides, so I lifted it up and I had to put it back down, and then I lifted it too much and then I had to put it back down a couple of times. You see that? So when you buy decoupage paper, make sure it's the 18-pound paper because you're able to lift it a few times in case you don't have it in the right spot. So I worked my way around the table, and as I did, you see here, I would mark on the edge of the meters here, and then I would cut out around them so that there wasn't a whole lot of overlapping. You'll see me here, guys, drawing on the table with the pencil around the outside edge of the meter. This is so that I have a guideline of where I need to put my DIY crystal clear patina in. I don't want to have extra to clean up because I am going to leave some of this wood grain exposed on the table between the meters. Once the table has dried, I go back with a 220 grit sandpaper, and you see me sanding the edges here lightly, and this is so that I'll have a clean separation between the two. See, it leaves a perfectly smooth edge all the way around. I then decided to use some Goo Gone to get the edges where I did put too much of the crystal clear patina on, and this took it up, piece of cake. Easy peasy. Then I went with my DIY Big Top and I sealed in the entire top of the table. After the big top dried, I decided I wanted to grunge up the meters a little bit more. So I sanded just the meters, none of the wood grain, with a 220 grit sandpaper. And then I went over it with the clear wax because I knew I wanted to use the black wax to kind of bring out the accent and grunge it up a little bit. The reason why I use the clear wax first before I put any colored wax on any piece is because it can act as an eraser in case you use too much of the colored wax. It's kind of like a security blanket. After I had the black wax on, I let it sit for about 15 minutes or so, and then I buffed off the excess. It's beautiful. Each one of these tables took a total of an hour to do over one day. They turned out amazing. Not bad to flip 3 throwdown tables in 3 hours. All of the paint and products used in today's video you can find at stellaroseboutique.co or in my shop at Stella Rose Mercantile and Boutique at 524 Justis Drive in Greeneville, Tennessee. I am out of the Grunge Meters, but I will leave a link below to one of my girlfriends that has them in stock for you. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like thrift flips, how-to tutorials, just everyday upcycling old furniture into new decor and trash to treasures, please give me a subscribe and hit that notifications bell so you won't miss another video. Thanks for watching. Bye.